This next lesson ties in with the last video you watched and relates to your life compass. This exercise is most useful after you have already done some work on identifying the values that are important to you. So, if you have not already done so, you might wish to complete the values assessment worksheet first. So go ahead and pause the video now. Again, we've provided a form to help you through this exercise. You can get a copy of this form by clicking on the button at the bottom of the page. We know that it might take you some time to work through this exercise, so you can complete this exercise later in the week. For now, we just want to talk you through what is involved in completing the form. We're asking you to identify 3 important values in your life that you want to work toward. Once you've decided on them, you should then think about why they are important for you. Think about how close you were to living this value in the last 2 weeks, what action you took towards accomplishing these in the past 2 weeks, and what actions that moved you away from these over the past 2 weeks. So it is about thinking about what you actually do in life compared to what you want to do in life. The things you do that move you away from these values are considered barriers. These may include your asthma, or your fear of having an asthmatic attack. Concentrating so much on reducing your asthma symptoms means there is a trade-off, not doing what you really want to do in life. You might think that if you can get rid of your asthma first, then you can start to live the way you want to live. You'll see the form on the screen. It looks like a bullseye. This form is designed to take you in the direction of your chosen values. To start, you're asked to write down an important value that you identified using the values assessment form that was described in the earlier video. Then, in the space provided, try to sum up in a few sentences why this value is important to you. If you were really living this value, how would your experience, life, relationships be different? If you're living in line with this value, what would you be getting out of it? Next, mark an X in the area of the dartboard that represents where you've been overall over the last 2 weeks in relation to your chosen value. The centre of the dartboard, the so-called bullseye, represents exactly where you want to be with living in line with this value. The outer circle represents feelings that are very far from living your chosen value. Finally, identify some moves, actions, behaviours over the last 2 weeks that moved you either towards or away from the bullseye. It doesn't matter if the moves were small or large. Everything counts. Once you've completed this part, you can move on to the next part. Here you're asked to think about everything you put on the prior 3 pages. The values you identified, your descriptions of why those values are important. Combine those 3 values and think of them as representing the life you want. Now, think about where your X marks were placed on the 3 dartboards. Overall, how are you doing? At this moment in time, over the last 2 weeks, how close or far away are you from living the kind of life you want, to being the kind of person you want to be? Now think about what is standing in the way of moving those X marks towards the bullseye. Anxiety, insecurity, hopelessness, lack of motivation, lack of self-belief. Now, identify a move or 2 you can make during the next 2 weeks towards each of your valued directions. Be specific and be realistic, but also be courageous and bold. Just think what it would mean for your life if you were to move closer to the bullseye. We know that this might take you some time to work through this exercise, so you can complete this exercise before the next session. See you at the video.